Hi, friends. My name is James. I am 40 years old and I live in Long Beach, California. I am starting a YouTube channel just to see if maybe I can be of help to people that don't really know what they're doing with their money. There's a lot of people that don't know where their money's going or they're making money, but they're still in the red. There's just a lot of, I think, opportunity for people who are starting out and just don't really know where to begin. So I want to see if I can bridge that gap. Um, a little bit about me. As I said, I live in Long Beach, California. This condo that I'm in right now, I actually just bought about a year ago, May of last year. Oh, yeah, a year ago. But I didn't move in until October. So it's a really cool place. I actually, if you look out this window, this is my balcony here. I get a little view of, there's some condos and stuff, but then there's like the ocean line, which is really cool to look at. I get to see the sunrise and the sunset, so it's a pretty cool spot. But it took a lot of work to get here. It took a lot of kind of sacrifice. There were some big decisions that had to be made. Things like cutting costs in terms of my rent, making sure that I wasn't living in places that were super fancy. I drove a car that had a bumper hanging off the front of it because I was trying to do a three-point turn and I accidentally hit the curb. And so my bumper went and I was like, oh shit. So I tried to back up, but my bumper snagged on the curb and like ripped it off. So it was bent like an L in front of my car. So I had to push it back and then I just let it dangle there. And I drove that car for many years after that. I had about $20,000 in credit card debt. I had no money in my savings account, and I had just started a job making, I think it was $18 an hour. Um, so with that job, I worked there for about 8 months, and then I was moved into a full-time role. I was working as a contractor at the time, and they started my salary at $45,000 per year. And with that salary, I was able to buy my first condo as well as pay off my credit card debts. It took some time, probably a couple of years, I think. Don't quote me on that. 2012 to 2015. Yeah, it took a little bit of time, but I was able to save up some money, and I was able to put down I think, $11,000 deposit as a 3.5% down on a $230,000 condo. It was a 2 bedroom, 2 bath, in a kind of sketchy area, but it got me into the game. And over the years, I've purchased 5 different properties. Two of them I still have. The one I'm living in now, which I'm going to be possibly renting out as an Airbnb very, very soon. And then another one that I bought with my friend downtown here in Long Beach that we rent out as an Airbnb right now. I also, about 3 years ago, inherited a house. Unfortunately, there were some deaths in the family. So in 2006, it was a family of 3, my sister, myself, and obviously our mom. And our mom passed away in 2006. And so she left our childhood home to myself and Jess. And in 2019, Jess passed away. So fuck cancer, for starters. And so with that, I inherited that home. I haven't done anything with it. It just sits there. It's currently being rented out to somebody. It has been since 2006. So I currently have 3 properties. One of them I just inherited, and then the other 2 I purchased. So that's a little bit of backstory about me. What I'm going to do is hopefully guide you to a spot where you can understand a bit more about your financial situation and ways to improve that situation. So we're going to start very slow. What I'm going to show you today is just a very simple budget process, and I have a spreadsheet that you can use. Now, money is scary, right? For some people, it can be threatening, it can be intimidating. A lot of us will receive a bill and not want to open it because we know that we have to pay it and we just don't have the money right now. A lot of us don't even open our bank accounts and look at how much money we have because we don't want to know what it is, because we think it's like $0 or negative dollars. I totally get that. I'm in a much better financial position now than I was before, and I still do that. But I'm going to tell you that doesn't fix the problem. That doesn't make it go away, right? I'm going to draw a parallel, even though I know the two are not the same, but you know, um, if you're not feeling well, if you're sick, if something's wrong and you're worried it could be cancer, right? You don't want to go to the doctor because you don't want to know that you have cancer. But if you don't go to the doctor, that cancer's not going away and it could kill you. Now, obviously, money is not the same as cancer, but there is a correlation between the two. You need to know where your money's at. You have to. You have to face that fear and then figure out a solution. At the very least, you'll know where you stand, and we can start taking steps towards improving that situation. So, step one today is going to be getting over your fear and figuring out where your money is. So, take a moment, really dig down deep, and just say, okay, I'm going to take a little bit of time and at least figure out where my money is. In the very worst case scenario, you're going to find out, shit, I'm spending more than I'm making every single month. Damn. That's okay. At least now you know, okay? And then we're going to figure out ways. I'm going to help you through this. We are going to figure out ways to hopefully resolve that, right? So we're going to look at all of our debts, all of our expenses. We're also going to look at all of our income. I have a spreadsheet. It's very simple. It's very basic. If you're not familiar with Excel, it is super, super simple. Please, please, please trust in me. And if you have any questions at any time, you can either leave a comment. You might even see my email pop up when I do a screen share. I don't care. I'm not a very private person. Maybe I should be. Just ask, and I would love to be able to help you. Again, this is for people who are just kind of starting out with their budget. If you're, you know, already investing in real estate and stocks and all that stuff, that is fantastic, but you're probably at a higher level than I'm going to be able to be of service to you. However, down the road, we're going to become a little bit more in depth with what we are learning. So bear with me. I'm going to switch on over. I'm very new to all of this. I'm not super good at like editing videos and doing all that. So there's probably going to be a lot of jumping between or cutting video. I don't know how all that works. So I'm going to jump on over to sharing my screen so that you can see the spreadsheet that we're just going to work through really quickly. I'm just going to lay it out for you and show you some very simple ways to figure out where your money is. One other thing, the reason I'm doing this is because I've had many friends come to me over the years and ask for help with their money. They don't know where they're at and they want to learn. So in your own time, do that, right? Figure out where your money is. I have told my friends that I would love to help them with money. I love helping people figure this out. I know I've helped, you know, Annalisa, Robin, Mario. I think, Jeremy, did I help you a little bit? I don't know. Like, this is my friend Amy. I just love helping people kind of get their finances figured out. So this isn't my first time trying this, but this is my first time doing it like in a public space. I don't know. I'm excited to see if I can help you. So let's go ahead and hop on into the spreadsheet and see if I can walk you through that to a space where you understand what's going on. Okay, just 1 second. So, that took me a second to figure out. So anyway, this is the spreadsheet that we're going to use for our basic budget. This is in Google Docs for me, and I will go ahead and share this document so that you have access to it and can enter, you know, whatever your income and expenses are. For those of you that are not familiar with Excel, please do not be intimidated by all these numbers and things everywhere. Those are just formulas, and you actually will not be touching those. The only cells you're going to be touching are the ones that are white, right? So for example, up here, this cell is white, so you can actually enter information into here. So if you want to make this say my monies or, you know, Wells Fargo checking or whatever it is, then you can go ahead and put that information into here. This cell we're not going to touch. As you can see up here, there is a formula in here. If you touch that formula, it'll mess up the whole point. And this one is your bottom line. This is the number that we're going to figure out at the very end where your money actually stands. Just to give you a quick walkthrough of this spreadsheet, you'll see there's 2 columns here that we're going to play with. This is deposits, so any money coming into your account is going to go into the C field. And this is expenses. Any money coming out of your account is going to go into your expenses. Over here, again, these are all formulas, so these will automatically calculate on their own, so you don't need to touch anything over here. And over here we have our actual categories. So in these white cells you can put in, this is income. So do you have wages? You can have wages. If you wanted to, let's say you make alimony, you can put alimony in there. I also, I'm an influencer and I make money from that. I was watching the recording back and I kind of laughed because I was putting in the incomes, as you can see right now, and I was like, I'm an influencer. Like I was just saying it casually, and then as I was watching it back, I was like, oh my fucking gosh, people are gonna think that I'm an influencer. I'm not an influencer. I have 0 followers across all of the social media platforms. So when I was saying that, I was saying it hypothetically, like if you are an influencer and you make money, put it in there. I am not, okay? Literally 0 followers. So please don't misread that to think that I have an ego. I don't. Anyway, that's it. Continue watching and enjoying. Yeah. Hell, I don't know. You could have rental income, all kinds of things that you can put in here. We're not going to do all that because we're going to keep it simple. In here we have savings account, right? So you could have a Roth IRA, you could have Charles Schwab, you could have savings account 1, vacation savings account. I have what I like to call my oh shit account, and then a 401k and any other savings account options that you have. If you're not using these, just go ahead and delete them. Oh, I would keep the oh shit account. That's for me. Vacation savings account, Charles Schwab. Maybe you don't have those. No big deal. You don't need to have them in there. Oh, I got rid of this. I didn't mean to do that. So those are your savings accounts. We're going to talk about those at the very end, actually. And then down here, I have a category that we just call fixed/cyclical. What that means is this is the money that you have to pay every single month, right? Or even, it may be every 6 months, it may be annual, right? Like you have a Costco membership, that's an annual payment of whatever dollars per year. I'm going to show you how to set aside money for that every month. But we're not going to get there. I just want to, again, today's goal is simply to figure out what is our total income, what is our total expenses. We will get to everything else later. Today's goal, what's our income, what's our expenses, and what's our bottom line, which we're going to find out. Again, feel free to add, change, modify anything in these white cells. So let's say you don't have a car loan. You can just delete that cell. Or you can, make it say, I don't have a car loan, but I do have, I want to put in my Netflix account, my Netflix subscription. So I just put in some things to consider here, things that you can think about. This one I should have edited. This was for me. That was insurance for a condo. So, student loan, if you have HOA payments, sometimes you have an HOA annual assessment, your cell phone bill. I put in Costco membership. You might have a gym membership, and then there's more fields down here so you can enter more categories. Now, one thing that's important for me to mention to you is that, it's not impossible, but it's unlikely that the first time you do this, you're going to actually get every single expense that you have, right? This is something that you build out and you check in with over time. I put in this Costco membership because I know that I have an annual Costco membership. You may have an annual membership that you completely forgot about because you only pay it once a year. You also might have monthly memberships that you have no idea what they are. So, if you're not checking your bank statements on a monthly basis, you may not realize that you have some app subscription that you forgot that you even had. So you're going to get it over time, but just try and get, let's do the 80-20 rule. Just do a one fell swoop and try and get as much as possible, either by memory or by looking at your last, bank statement. So let's go ahead and get started with the actual material here. We're going to start with the deposits. Now, again, I mentioned you could have alimony or rental income, all these different things. Any income, I'm going to keep this real simple for you. Anything in the deposits column is all going to go right here. Everything else on this spreadsheet, including your savings account, and I'll explain that, is going to be considered an expense, right? So for the sake of this, just know, left column up here, these are all your incomes. Everything else on this spreadsheet is going to go in this column right here. So, income. If you know that in a month you make $2,500, go ahead and just put in $2,500, right? That's simple. If you get paid on a weekly basis and you make some obscure money, right? I make, $883 per week. I'm going to show you a real simple way to calculate that. So if you put an equal sign here, or you can even go up here to this FX, this function field. If you put equals, and then let's say you make $883.23 per week times 4. It'll calculate it for you, right? That's all you need to know, super simple. So that's going to be our income. Let's, just for the sake of it, let's say you also have, I don't know. What's another income here, folks? Let's do rental income because that's what I'm familiar with. Ooh, humble brag. Okay, so let's say you make $1,000 a month on it, right? So as you can see, this deposits field, which is going to be your total deposits, is automatically calculating a number. And then this is going to be your bottom line. You'll notice that these are the same right now. That's because we haven't entered an expense. If we were to put an expense, let's say 500, you're going to see that number change, right? So expenses went to 500, and now your money went down to $4,032. So we're going to skip savings accounts for now. I'm going to tell you we're going to save that for last because that's slightly more complicated. Let's go down to fixed cyclical. So what you need to do is figure out where your money is. Play money, I'll explain at the end. What's your rent? You could be paying, $750 per month in rent. Netflix, I pay $14 a month in Netflix. One thing I really want to stress for you is that if you pay $14.99 for Netflix, or $13.99, I don't know what it is. I think it's something like that. If you pay $14.99, do not put $14. Put $15. Or put $14.99. With expenses, you always want to round up, right? You want to make sure that you're not under, what's the word I'm looking for? With income, you always want to underestimate, and with expenses, you always want to overestimate. That's erring on the side of caution. So if your income here is $35, $32, $92, don't go rounding up to $35, $35, right? $3,535. Because then at the very end of the day, you're gonna I know it's only a few dollars, but a few dollars could matter. If anything, round down to $35, $30. That way, if your numbers are off by a little bit, worst case scenario, you're in the green on the way your numbers are off as opposed to being in the red. You have to be honest with yourself here. If you're not, there's no point to doing this. We're trying to figure out where you're at so that we can get you going in the right direction. Now, if we scroll on down, go ahead and enter in, find out all your expenses, put them in here, and enter that data into these fields. So for the sake of this exercise, I'm going to continue to enter these things. Car insurance. I know that my car insurance is about $600 and I pay that every 6 months. So I put the equal sign in here because I'm going to do a formula. I'm going to do $600 and it's every 6 months. So every month that is $100, right? Annual tax bill. Let's say every year I'm paying $2,500 in my property taxes, and then divide that by 12 because there's 12 months in a year, right? Those are the complicated ones. Renter's insurance, I don't know what you spend on that per month. Let's say it's $50. Student loan, let's say you spend another $250 on student loans. Let's say you have an HOA and that's another $200. No annual assessment. Cell phone bill, mine's $80. Let's go ahead and put that in there. Costco membership. I don't remember what it is. I'm just going to say it's $100 a year. And then because it's $100 per year, I'm going to do equals 100 divided by 12 months in a year. So that comes out to about $8.33 per month for my Costco membership. Electric bill, let's say that's $35. Let's say you have a credit card payment. You go and you look it up on your credit card and you're paying $50 a month. Other credit card is $65 a month. We're going to try and get rid of these credit cards, but again, we're just finding out what we are making each month and what we are spending each month. Gym membership, I don't go to the gym. So what do you guys pay on your gym memberships? If you're going fancy, like Equinox, I think you're paying $120, $150, I don't know what it is. So let's just say $100. Okay. So go through, do that whole exercise. And I'm going to keep skipping ahead here. I'm not going to wait for you to do all that. So those are all of your fixed cyclical, like things that you know that you're spending each month. And as you can see, your money has gone down. So you have your total deposits of $45.32, and you have your total expenses is $19.11. Again, I just made these numbers up. This would actually be a nice, healthy salary for a lot of folks. And for some people, it's not that much. So just don't worry where it lands. It's all up to you. Now we're going to get a little bit different here. So savings account. Let me explain something about savings accounts, right? When you're putting money into a savings account, right? Let's say you want to be setting money aside for your vacation savings account. You want to take a vacation to Costa Rica and go lay on the beach and, sip on your margaritas, whatever you guys do. And you want to be setting aside $200 each month for that, or $100 or $50, whatever it may be. That, while it is still your money, it's not considered a deposit because you're taking it out of your monthly income and setting it aside for something else. So it's actually considered an expense, right? So let's say you are setting aside $150 each month so that you can go to Costa Rica. That's an expense. That's coming out of what you're making. Is it still your money? Of course it is, but it's coming out of your monthly income, so we're considering it an expense. Your oh shit account or your rainy day fund, that's how much money you want to set aside in the event that something goes wrong. So let's say you're going to set aside $250 each month for that. That is an expense because that's coming out of your monthly income. You may have you might have a 401k, go ahead and put that in here. You might have a Roth IRA, whatever it is, just go ahead and put those in there and enter those numbers. Now, the last one that we're going to enter is our play money. I actually am going to save so I'll explain a little bit about it right now. Your play money, this is how I was able to save money, pay off credit cards, put money into these types of accounts, was because my play money is what I take out of the ATM. Yes, I still go to the ATM with my debit card each week, and I pay for everything else in cash. That includes my groceries, my gas, my clothing, anything. If you want to go out to eat with friends, if you want to go to the bar, etc. This is going to be the core of how you budget and save money. Once you run out of this money, this play money in your week, you're done. You have no money left to spend, right? We are going to get into that in the next episode, the details of that, because that's a little bit more complicated. Today's goal, again, is to figure out what these items are. What is your income? You don't even necessarily need to know your savings accounts yet. In fact, let's skip that. Don't even worry about your savings accounts yet. You can if you want to get ahead, but you're going to put in your income and your expenses. That's it. Once you have that, you'll be prepared for next week's lesson. I know this is a little bit verbose. Hold on. Actually, I'm going to go back to recording and looking you in the eye. Hold on. So that was a little bit, again, this is my first time recording this, so I am gonna learn and get better, but I hope the material itself was helpful. Again, I really just want to reinforce that all you need to do is figure out what your income is and what your expenses are. We're going to get to how to use that information to position you for a better financial future. But for now, just go in there, enter in what your income is, skip the savings section. Don't even worry about that because we're going to combine that with the play money next week or tomorrow. I don't know, whatever my free time is like. Excuse me. We're going to do the savings section and we're going to do the play money section. And that's where you can really start to see and gain control of your finances. If you're swiping the card, you're going to be running into issues, but again, we'll get into that next week. So just figure out where your money's coming from and where your money is going. And that is all that you need to do for now. We will get into what to do with the information you have next week. Thank you. I hope you have the best day. After this, I don't know what I'm going to do with my day. I think I'm gonna play World of Warcraft. I haven't played it before, and I'm 40 years old, and I just want to play. So anyway, I hope you have the best day, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.